All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming on a day that we don't have lecture. I really appreciate your participation. I know that sometimes lecture seems like it's going a mile a minute and it's a marathon for the entire time that we're there. So I have these supplemental go-to sessions to give us a chance to take a breath and really, I guess, take everything in. It's a lot of information. Full Sail, the way that it's structured every single month, month after month after month, you have a new class, and it goes way quicker than you think that it goes. So I like to come in and take a deep breath and give you guys the chance to really absorb everything and have a chance or the opportunity to ask me some questions. I know that it's not a lot of time, especially when you guys are making the transition from my class to PYP. Um, and there usually is a long line out the door before I can leave and you guys can have your session. So to be courteous to your PYP teacher and to make your stress levels go a little bit down. Um, I'm very appreciative that many of you have signed up for these sessions. I'm also recording this session so that it will be posted on the announcements the entire month. If anything comes up, if you have a question, well, she went over this, but I forgot how exactly she wanted us to do this, you can refer back to the recorded session. Awesome. So the reason why I brought you in here is this week is a little weird. I'm not going to be with you the entire week. I do leave for vacation on Friday morning, so I will not be in session with you on Friday. I addressed this on yesterday. You all will be in fantastic hands. James Lomas is also a creative presentation instructor. He has his own campus class and is pretty awesome. He's amazing. The whole team is made up of really strong, innovative, and creative instructors. So I know that I don't have to stress. I know that I'm leaving you guys in good hands. Uh, I just want to reiterate that I put a proposal out to you guys. And I know that it was pretty quick, although I mentioned this in an email and the announcement to you guys on Sunday. This week I'm proposing if you get your plans in by Wednesday night at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will give you 5 points towards the lowest grade that you receive on an assignment this month, which is a big deal because it is a half a letter grade. I know that some of you struggled a little bit with the first assignment, and it might help you in the long run to earn those 5 extra points. The reason why I'm doing that is, again, I'll be on vacation for this weekend. I am not taking my laptop. It is a true vacation. So if you submit by Wednesday, I can start grading and giving feedback as of Thursday. I want to preface that also because there was some confusion and concern about grades. Understand that everyone is different. Every instructor is different. knowing that I'm going on vacation this weekend has me working overtime to get that feedback to you so I can spend time on each assignment. So understand that your PYP instructor doesn't have the same, she's not going on vacation this upcoming week. And so I started early, and that was my decision. Talk about time management. I'm all about time management. So if I know that something is coming up, I structure my week accordingly, if that makes sense. So please don't make her feel bad that she didn't give you grades yet. Know that our class is huge. It's a very large class. You can imagine that if, just to put it in perspective, if we only took 1 minute on each assignment, that's almost that's almost 3 hours of grading for one presentation. And we know very well that we take more than a minute on presentations. So understand that it's an undertaking and it takes some time, especially if you want that constructive feedback and you want that I've lost the word, not itemized, but personal. Personal, that's what I'm looking for. So please understand that we have different styles, we have different schedules, and know that technically an instructor has about a week to get you back your feedback for any one assignment. Do you guys have any questions on that? Any concerns? Awesome. Awesome. Okay. I guess I will also address that. I guess you guys have noticed that I've been grading the assignment first. That's usually my style. Is I like to grade the assignment first because it's highly weighted. It's weight heavier than the discussion board. And really, if you guys posted when I asked you to post, like way before the weekend, I've been giving you feedback on the discussion board the entire week. So it makes sense to me, and I hope it makes sense to you, that I just grade the discussion boards last. You receive feedback if you return to the discussion board and use the RISE model to comment back on your at least 2 of your classmates, and you've read the rubric. It kind of gives you an idea of what kind of score that you should be expecting. So do not stress that the discussion board is not graded yet. It's going to be the last thing that I grade. And okay, Connor, you have a question on the assignment this week. Awesome, because that is really what this session is about. So I'm going to get to the assignment in a minute. I do want to go over a few things before we get there. The first thing is the discussion board for this week. Okay, so really the discussion board for this week is all about who inspired you or what has inspired you. I know the instructions ask you to focus on someone in the industry that has inspired interest, or it sparked interest on your journey. It makes sense because in essence, you're inspiring to get in the industry, in the entertainment industry, whatever branch that is. It varies, but part of your goal is to break into the industry. But I know, as well as everybody else knows, that inspiration comes from everywhere. For example, my post that I put up there, I used two people of inspiration. One is Maya Angelou. I adore that woman. God rest her soul. And the other is Robert Greene. He is an author, a philosopher. Now, both those people don't directly have the title teacher or educator. However, they have attributes that are conducive to an educator, and they speak to my heart as an educator. Maya, especially as a philosopher, as an activist, as a game changer, as a poet, she speaks to my heart in many different ways. So not directly as to say I am a professor at a university, but my style and the way that I think and my philosophies that I've adopted as an educator stem from who she is and what she has done for this world. Does that make sense? Cool. So in the past, I've had students be inspired by characters in a book, by animation characters or fictional characters in television shows or films. My only, not concern, the only catch is that you tie it back into the Hale method that is that Julian Treasure talks about in his TED. So if you go to our platform and you pull up the discussion, so let's pull up the discussion, and I have to do another step. Don't pay attention to this. But here we go. So every discussion, every assignment has these objectives, and it gives you the TED Talk by Julian Treasure, and he talks about the Hale method. The Hale method is really an acronym for honesty, integrity, authenticity. Honesty, authenticity, integrity, and love. And it has to do with delivery. It has to do with how you deliver your message, the tone of your voice, the flow. Xavier, awesome. That means that you are ahead of the game. So whomever or whatever you choose to as an inspiration for this discussion board, as long as you can tie it back to and refer to Julian Treasure's Hale method, you're good. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. So we don't really have to spend too much time on this. Everything is laid out for you. Know that I made a change through this. So of course it says Wednesday night because that's how it's always been. I encourage the Wednesday night. So it gives me an opportunity to give you that feedback right on the discussion board. However, I want the assignments first this week, so I pushed the deadline to Thursday. So you have until Thursday to make that initial post. Since we have been through the first week and you already have been subjected to the way things go, and we verbalized, it's been on the discussion board, it's been in your emails, it's been on the announcements. If you miss the Thursday deadline, you will get late penalties this time. I went lenient on the very first week because it is an adjustment. However, you've been informed, you've been warned. So if you miss that deadline, you will be deducted late points. Okay. In all honesty, the discussion boards are really easy. These are easy points to get. It's reading over the material. It's reading the post that I post up there, or looking at some of your classmates to get an idea, and formulating a well-written post based on your evaluations. So it really it's utilizing your perspective, your philosophy, talking about what inspires you. So it's really easy to knock this out and get it out of the way, so you don't have to concern yourself. And then know that with any discussion board, it's open until Sunday. So you have until Sunday to interact with your classmates and make any changes or any additions to your initial post. Just make sure, again, I know I sound like a broken record, but please return to the discussion board and respond to your classmates. It is a huge chunk of points for your grade if you don't return back to the discussion board. So please do that. Okay, any questions on the discussion board before we move on? Awesome. Okay, the next thing I want to briefly go over is the integrative learning activity for this week before we get back into the overall assignment, because I know that is going to take most of our time this morning. So the integrative learning activity is basically part 2 of the first week. The first week, you were asked to do a visual story, to take 6 to 10 pictures and make a visual story. We all do this practically every day, whether it is taking pictures to update our Facebook status or Instagram or Snapchatting. We're doing this on a daily basis. We're using images to tell our story. So the first integrative learning activity was just that. It was the part 1, your visual story. Part 2 is, now that you have received comments from your classmates, and I know that some of you didn't, which is okay. You can still do part 2, and I hope that you'll be more interactive on this board this week. But it's asking you to use another Web 2.0 tool, very user-friendly as You Tell Story was, to make a video. Now you're telling your story of what you intended. You picked out these images to tell your story, and now you're giving a delivery. of your story. Now you are picture that you're doing story time in elementary school, and you're opening up your book and you're reading the story. So you're devising a video in WeVideo, and starting giving your visual story a beginning, middle, and end. Does that make sense? Awesome. And again, this is meant to be relaxed. You are not being graded. There's no rubric. It's only attached to attendance hours. So I want you to relax with it. Be creative. Allow yourself to have fun with this. It's part of the whole process this month, is getting you in that mode of finding images that are going to complement your story by practicing your flow and telling your story and captivating your audience, giving them an idea of your journey and your life. So it's meant to be relaxing and fun. So do not stress this. Have fun with it. Enjoy it. Brandon, it is completely devised for a beginner. It has everything. It's very user friendly. It won't take you that much time to get a hang of it. So it's really easy. Brandon, if you know those tools, then you could use them. I know that I made that suggestion the first week, but know that lynda.com, what I showed you in week 1, has all those tutorials in there. And if you are a beginner, or if you are intermediate all the way into expert, lynda.com has all those videos. So if you are just starting out, I recommend the essentials, iMovie essentials, and as you progress, there are different stages. Kendall, I was just making an example. The story could be about anything, of course. It's supposed to, the whole point is matching your visual story, or close to it. No, I'm sorry that I stressed you out for that moment. That was just basically to explain what you can do. That's all. Okay, and then there's the reflection part. Now, if you did not get a lot of feedback, you can improvise and basically answer this question right now for your reflection. Daniel, I don't recommend it because it was supposed to match. It's supposed to match what your visuals were for the first week. However, if you got feedback, and you want to add additional images, by all means do that. But part of the assignment is resharing your You Tell Story link and then putting the link to your video underneath it. I apologize, Daniel, especially with week one. It's kind of crazy with getting acclimated, so I apologize. Know that you guys will not get penalized, okay? Majority of what these are designed for is to give you the practice that you need for your final presentation. So don't get hung up. Christian, I will email examples for the main assignment if that's what you are asking. For the plans, I will be emailing you examples of what the plan looks like or could look like. Yes, no worries, guys. I promised you that yesterday. However, I wanted to have this session first and then give those examples. Okay, any questions on the integrative learning activity? Cool. This is highlighted, bolded, asterisk. 6 hours of attendance. This is attached to 6 hours of attendance. Please submit something. Please. For the love of anything that you find holy in this world, submit this assignment. Okay? Good. Okay, just a review. This guy right here, and I'm going to include. Oops. I'm going to include this link with your with the email and announcement that I'm sending out today. If you have not watched this, I highly recommend. Unfortunately, I do not find the time anymore in our lectures. Our lectures used to be, when we first started CRP, they used to be 4 hours, and that would allow for so much more. However, it's unfortunately, talking about it is easier than playing the TED and then talking about it. So if you haven't watched it, I do recommend that you watch it. The main things that I want you to get from that TED and for your planning is the way that you can structure your plans, the way that you can think about the flow or the arc of your story. And it's broken down to the why, the how, and the what. I discussed this yesterday, how Simon talks or uses a repeatable soundbite. It's not what you do, it's why you do it. And he uses this in pivotal points in his presentation to explain how people are successful in business. And he makes comparisons on those that have succeeded and those that have failed. Not saying that the failure was not a learning experience and didn't turn into something great, but he makes that comparison on how effective each are. Your why is just that. It's why you chose this path. That moment, that definitive moment that spark the interest to be on the path that you are now. So you'll see, especially if you, throughout the week, if you are posting to the discussion board, I'll try to tie in your inspiration into what speaks to you and try to get how are you going to take this inspiration and inspire others? How do you intend to do this? So your why is the why you do what you do, and your audience is going to want to know that. It's the buy-in for any type of audience, no matter what type of presentation choice you are going to pick. Your audience is going to want to know why. They want to know why they're there. They want to know why they should care and why they should make a decision based on the delivery of your message. Does that make sense so far? Cool. The how, I feel, is pretty easy. But at the same time, it's difficult. And I know that sounds crazy, but you can have that duality at the same time. Your how, and this goes for any option that I gave you, your how is your journey here at Full Sail. So my suggestion is that you go back on the website you first went on to find out about Full Sail, www.fullsail.edu. Once you're on that site, you can navigate through there and find your degree and understand what your path is. So you'll understand what classes you are going to be subjected to. You'll understand what programs you are going to learn and the skills that you're going to obtain by being on this path that you are on. And it's meant to motivate you and invigorate you and excite you for what you're about to embark on. You can take those skills and those strategies and speak about them as if you have them already, because that is what you are going to do the entire time you're here at Full Sail. At least that's what I hope for you. You have the power to make it happen. In every single class that you're in, you have all the assets in front of you. It's up to you on how you're going to use them, how you're going to absorb them, how you're going to practice them. So part of your how, your qualifications, is your journey at Full Sail, because you will have all those skills by the time that you graduate or walk across that stage. Another way that you could show these qualifications are things that you've already done. Now, I know that gives people anxiety because, oh my God, I'm just starting out. I don't have anything. I don't have a portfolio. I haven't done any volunteer work or internships. You have. Without even realizing that you have, you have. It doesn't matter how big or how small they are, it's still qualifications. And understand that I understand you're at the beginning. How cool is it going to be as you progress through this program and absorb these skills that this is going to evolve. It's going to evolve as you evolve. For the purpose of this presentation, at month 1, I encourage you to utilize sketches that you've done in the past, poems that you've written, short stories, films that you have done for your family, even if it's an amateur film for, say, Christmas or a birthday. This is using your craft. You have used your craft, and that is a solid illustration of what you can do. Even though you think that it's small, it's not. It's still an accomplishment. It's still an illustration of what you can do. Does that make sense? Cool. And be excited about that. Don't let that discourage you. You know that the most successful people in this world will tell you, I create every single day, even if it is 5 minutes or it's 5 hours, I create every single day. And we're going to get more into that with our personal brand lecture tomorrow. But know that these are all things that you're doing for the bigger picture, and everything counts. Everything. Again, think of how cool it's going to be that you come back to this presentation and you're in the heart of your animation classes, and you can see the progression and how far you have come from the sketches in your sketchbook. If you're a film student and you had a film for graduation, for the senior class, and now you're in the heart of your film program and you're using all these effects and camera angles and editing skills, how cool is it to see that progression and have the confidence that it's going to change, it's going to evolve. You are going to get better, you are going to get more efficient, and be able to showcase those skills and those examples. Your what is your ultimate call to action. It is what you want to accomplish in your field, in building a company, in building a team, in building a motivational movement. It's what you want to accomplish and what you need from them to make it happen. So your what is the two-way street. What you could do for them and what they could do for you. And it's a call to action to make your audience move. In this case, to make your audience make a decision about you. Any questions on that? Daniel, this is just the hire me explanation or the presentation. I'm gonna get into all 3 choices in a minute. This is the overall. This is any choice that you make. This is what you need to incorporate. The what, Connor? Yes, is both you and the audience. Ultimately, remember that your audience is the hero, and they have to walk away with something. They need something. Whether it is being informed, it's being enlightened, it's hiring a new person for their company, it's investing in the future of a project, it's investing time. They need something in return. Cool. Okay, so that brings us to assignment 2. And assignment 2 is planning. You're planning your presentation. Now, understand, and I underline, bold this, highlight it, whatever. Understand that plans are much more than brainstorming. Brainstorming is just the beginning. It is the foundation of a plan. Plans are details. The more that you put into your plan, the better off you are going to be for the rest of the time in this class. Trust me. Trust me. So it is more than a mind map. It is more than just concepts on a page. It is detail. And we went into the 3 legs of a presentation and going through the ideation and the writing stage. No, it entails all of that. It encompasses everything. It's not just writing a concept on a page. Understood? Cool. Okay. So in planning a presentation, these are the basics. This is what you have to answer for yourself. Who is your audience? Now, we beat that to death and we will continue to beat it to death, but the audience is your hero. They are the most important part of the demographics of your entire presentation because the decision is in their hands and you want them to make a decision in your favor. So you have to cater to them. If you want them to do what you need them to do, you have to cater to them, your audience. So an audience is so much more than Pixar. If you put down Pixar, awesome. But who in Pixar? What department? This is essential because if you are just making a universal presentation to the company Pixar, it's not speaking to the people that you need in order to get your dream done. Does that make sense? So it's so much more. You really have to understand your audience. If it's CEOs, if it's a room full of creatives, if it's the director of computer animation department, this all matters. This all matters to really understand who you are going to be speaking to and adjust accordingly. What is your flow? What is the arc of your story? Have you satisfied your what, your how, and your why? And what happens in between? Are you giving your audience the direction that they need in order to come to a clear decision or definitive decision by the end of your presentation? What tools do you need? This is essential also, especially if things aren't provided. You need to know the programs that you're going to use. Do you need a laptop? Do you need sound? Do you need speakers? Do you need a clicker? Do you need a Thunderbolt? Um, what do you need if you're a PC? What do you need if you're a Mac? All these things have to come into your head in order to be prepared. And if you want to be that person, that go-to person, you want to prepare for everything. You know, what if they don't have an adapter that you need? What if they don't have the correct lighting that you need? What do you have to do when that arises? What if they don't have the speakers that you need to amplify your sound? This is stuff that you have to think about. What is your message? You need to have a message. You need to have something that speaks to your heart. If you don't have something that speaks to your heart, how do you expect your audience to hear your heart? So you need a philosophy. You need something that is going to give them an idea of what you're about and what you are trying to accomplish in presenting this idea or presenting yourself. So work on your message. Tomorrow I have an activity that we're going to, I actually love this activity, and it went really well last month. That's going to help you with your message. So I look forward to that. Anticipate obstacles and be the problem solver. In this industry, especially, everyone has talent. You have talent of some kind, some level. There's a reason why you're on this path. However, what this industry is looking for is problem solvers. So, okay, you have the talent, the knowledge, the know-how to pick out a problem, but can you solve the problem? Or can you at least offer some insight on how to solve the problem? So understand that things don't always go the way that you plan it. It's the way that this world works. It is, life is very unexpected. So you want to anticipate things not going 100% the way that you want to. This is going to make you adjustable. It's going to give you that plan B and maybe sometimes plan C. What that does is it makes your audience comfortable. Now they're not going to stress out because you got it covered. You got it covered. Okay, the projector is not working. You have a plan. I know my presentation. I could do this off the cuff. No problem. So be the problem solver. And then, as always, reflect on the process. This is extremely important. It's more than you can count on your fingers. Going through the program and working full-time and having the responsibilities. I can't tell you how many times I wanted to throw my Macintosh up against the wall. And to save this precious tool that I have, I had to get up and walk away. And you need that for your mental health. That's because it's a Mac. I disagree. We'll agree to disagree, Danielle, because I will tell you, once I got the hang of a Mac, I never went back. So we'll agree to disagree on that. However, it gets frustrating. It really does. And I empathize with you, and I understand. I've been there. So it's really important for your mental health and the integrity of your presentation to walk away and come back with a fresh mind. Make sense? Cool. Okay, so just as a reminder, I'm going to go over the different options that I gave to you. This way, I know yesterday was a lot of information, and now that this is recorded, you could go back and refer to it if you need to. So in a hire me situation, you have a company in mind. Whether it is Pixar, it's Disney, it's Naughty Dog, Blizzard, you know, insert business here. You have a company in mind. The strong part about this is you can go and research this company and get information on the inner workings of the company. Know about the mission statement, know about their philosophy, know their brand, and reflect on whether or not you have what it takes to be there, or even if it speaks to who you are and what you want to accomplish. So it's really strong to understand a company's brand or mission statement. Find a position that they are currently listing, whether it's computer animation, or it's a grip for film, or even an internship. Research what that position entails. Then when you go back and you look at your degree program, you can have a checklist. I can apply for this job because I'm going to have this, this, and that. My degree is going to give me that opportunity. So when I do graduate Full Sail, I can apply for this job. And talk about your skills. Talk about your skills. I will tell you that some of the mistakes in the past with this presentation is that half the presentation is spent on how awesome the company is. That's not what they want. A company, especially like Naughty Dog or the empire that we call Disney, they already know how strong they are. They already know how awesome they are. They want to know why you're awesome and why you're the best fit for their company. Danielle, pretty much like a video resume, kind of. You want to be a little bit more, you want to be a little more creative, especially going into the entertainment industry, and know your audience. So on Sunday, when I sent you guys the email about week 2, I included some videos in there. One of the videos, if you are going to do a hire me presentation, is Google Please Hire Me. So I would recommend that you go back to that email or that announcement and watch that. That is an extreme effective example for Hire Me of knowing the audience and knowing what to do. So it does go beyond the video resume. It entails some creativity, and it's knowing your audience. Know that Disney Pixar is not going to want someone in front of the video screen reading off a script. They are engrossed in animation, in creativity, in imagination, and these are the things that they're going to want to see showcased to absorb that you're a possible candidate. Makes sense? And I know that I'm saying that a lot. I just want to make sure that you guys are on the same page. Okay, so any questions in the Hire Me situation? Connor, if we do Hire Me, would we be treating the audience like they're someone from the company? Yes, absolutely. So although you're going to be presenting to a room full of Full Sail students, you are making the arc of your story and presentation as if you were speaking directly to the people from that company. Cool? Awesome. Okay. Any other questions on the hire me scenario before we move on? Okay, I don't see any hands and I don't hear any typing, so I'm gonna move on. Okay, the join me. Join me is a little bit different. This is kind of outside of the box. This is a challenge. I'm not gonna lie. It's not really direct in or as direct as a hire me scenario. A join me is going to be a cause. It's you have a cause that is going to change the world. You have a movement that you want to bring to life in order to change the world for the better. Now, there's a difference. You can bring awareness to a cause, which is cool, and it's that's part of it. But in order for it to satisfy the assignment for this month, there needs to be action. So you need to have a cause of action. You need to give the audience not only an education and awareness about this issue, but you need to have an action plan. You are enticing them to join you on this mission, whether it is physically with you or it's to go back into their own communities or their own country or their own organization and develop this idea or this concept that you have brought forth. So yes, there should be an education and awareness of what the cause is and the reasonings and the why that you're doing what you're doing, but there needs to be an action plan. You need to give them something to hold on to or follow. Does that make sense? Cool. The other way that a join me could be is a project. So, for instance, and of course, I use my experience, and I'm a creative writer, so I'm not singling anyone out. I'm just using this as an example. Project, a team of creatives. So here, I'm a writer, and before I took the MFA program, I had no idea how to write scripts. Wasn't part of my wheelhouse. I never even dreamed of writing a script. Now I have the know-how and can do it, awesome. But prior to that, it was mostly short stories or beginnings of novels, or my main thing is poetry. So if I wanted to make my either my short story into an animated short, I would need a team of people. I would need a script writer to take my story and adjust it into a script for an animation series. I would need an animator, so I would need an artist to help my characters come to life. Um, I I would probably need, you need several things. You need a team of creatives to make a project come to life. And that's one way that you can go with the Join Me. I have this great idea, but I need a team full of people, a team full of creatives to make it happen. So a couple of things are going to go down with something like this. One, you have to pitch your idea first. You have to convince this room full of creatives that your idea is something that they want to be on board with, and what is in it for them, and how can they help, and how are you gonna help make this happen. Okay, so as I said in class, I've made a slide deck in a program, a Web 2.0 tool called Haiku, and it gives the basic elements of what should be included in a pitch. Not everything in the slide deck has to be included. Know your situation, know your audience, know your message and what you're trying to convey. It's only meant as a guide to help you. Cool? Jessica, good question. It varies. It varies. I will tell you that in the past, Join Me and Buy Me has outweighed Hire Me by far. And it's because I encourage you guys to dream big, and that you have nothing to lose if you dream big. And just a quick example. One of my students, is about 5 months ago now, and I'll probably share his example, but he always wanted to do a work for, be a part of this organization. And he had an idea to bring to the organization as just I don't want to give it all away, but with nutrition. And he built himself up from being overweight, and with diet and exercise, he built this whole program. And he was motivated by a company that he had in mind. And he put together this entire thing and asked me, can I do something like that? Can I do something that I'll use in the future? And my answer was yes. And I actually was so excited that he wanted to do that. And I wish that for every single one of you. He actually submitted what he did to the company, and they picked him up. They picked him up as an independent contractor, and he does the program. And that was month one. That was only month one. So you have all this opportunity. It's up to you if you want to take the risk. So that's why Join Me and Join Me and Buy Me rather has been very popular, especially the last few months. Okay. The last one is Buy Me. Buy Me is tricky. I think Buy Me is it's hard. It's very hard. You're going into an industry that is unforgiving. Especially, money is a touchy subject. And if you are unprepared, you're going to get destroyed. And I don't want to scare you, but that is just, that's honesty. That's honesty. You have billionaires that know what they're doing and they're successful because they have put in the groundwork and they know what they're doing, they know what they're talking about, they research, and they're gonna call you out on it. So in a buy me situation, know that ultimately they want to know their return on their investment, and it better be lucrative and it better be worth it. So you need to do your research. You need to know about your product. You need to know about the market. You need to know what it takes to build a recording studio. You need to know what it takes to build a production company or even a business. So Buy Me entails a lot of research about knowing exactly how your idea can come to life and is it worth the risk. So it's really a business plan, having a business plan for your future endeavors and giving your audience a reason why they should open their wallets and write you a check. Any questions on any three of those choices or the assignments? And you can raise your hand, guys. You could raise your hand. I listen to myself talk for a long time. Okay, I see Christina's hand up. Hi, Christina, you have a question? No? Okay. Daniel, do you want to ask your question out loud so everyone could kind of benefit from it? Cool. Hi, Daniel, and thank you for letting me rest my voice.
Hello. So, for instance, if you're selling a game, normally you're selling it to investors. They don't care about the graphics. They don't care about how cool the game is. Probably most of these people never don't even play games. All they want to know is the statistics of the beta or the testing. Is it a strategy game? Is it a sports game? Is it a first-person shooter? And if so, what are the statistics in terms of how popular that type of game is? Basically, they just want to know how much the game's going to sell. They could care less about the game itself.
Yes and no. Yes and no. The latter part of that is the heart of it. Ultimately, that's what they want to know: numbers and what the demographic is and how popular it's going to be, and is it going to make money? Is it going to make me money? They internalize it. What's the return for me? However, if you have watched any Shark Tanks before, they do want to know about the product, to understand what they're buying into and if it is going to be effective. They want to make a decision on, you know, does it connect with me at all? Do it. For example, like if you ever watched Shark Tank before, the dynamics between all of them are so different. So something that sparks Mark Cuban's attention may not spark someone else's attention. So they often go for products that they know that they can make it happen. They can help make it happen because they understand what the product is. They understand the demographics that it's going to go into, and they want to be a part of that process. So it's all about really knowing your audience. The numbers are essential for the whole thing, but you do want to introduce what you're selling. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I was just saying, I guess you could say, yeah, I meant to introduce what you're selling, give a brief description, but like, for instance, when you're a game designer, you're trying to sell a game, you could have the audience of the investors, or you could have the audience of the gamers. If you have the audience of the gamers, you lean more towards how the game looks, how cool it is. You're trying to sell that to them as if you want them to go to GameStop and pre-order the game right after the presentation. But
Uh,
on the other hand, investors, you're not leaning so much into the game itself, more along the lines of the statistics, basically saying, we already have this many people that are going to pre-order the game.
Absolutely. And that's going to be solid. Like if you come to them with pre-orders, oh my God, that's solid. Because that gives them what the risk factor is. Okay, well, this guy already has done his research, he's already put it out there and promoted it, and there's already a demand for it. So that would be solid. Cool. Thank you, Daniel.
You're welcome.
Okay, Cristobal says, so this is for the final presentation. Yes, this entire month is for the final presentation. Yes. Yjet said, if we pick to go with join me type and rally the audience towards an idea, but the solution to the idea is not legal, should we pick a different topic? Oh, interesting. How? I guess we can talk about that, and you could bring it to my attention, and I can help you out with that. Um, that is kind of difficult. Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. Um, you want to be careful with that because it's bringing a solution. And I am too. Um, so, Whitehead, this is my suggestion for you. Plan it. Give me everything that you possibly can to plan for that presentation, and give me the opportunity to guide you in a strong direction. Sound good? Cool. Okay, is there any other questions on uh, the assignment itself? Okay, Jessica asked, which do you want to see or like to see? Um, Jessica, I know it's gonna sound vague, but I want to see presentations that are gonna speak from your heart. I want to see you guys using your craft in everything that you do. No matter what the choice is, I want to see you. That's what I want to see. That's going to excite me. That's going to inspire me. So no matter what choice that you make, I want to see you in the presentation. I want to see your personality come out and give me what you got. Does that make sense? And backward, yes, absolutely. To be clear, the assignment this week is your plans. You are planning out this presentation. What you're doing is giving me all your ideas and you're allowing me to evaluate what you have and give you a direction, give you a solid direction on how you can effectively build this presentation. Daniel says, but keep in mind, oh, we're talking back and forth to YJet. Okay. Okay, cool, Jessica. I'm glad I answered your question. Okay, I'm gonna just briefly go over week 3. Okay, week 3 is a little intense. The fact that I'm giving you the opportunity to turn your plans in early is going to help you out. But week 3, the deadlines are tight. And it's because of the turnover from rough draft to presentation. So understand that the deadlines are going to there are going to be quick deadlines. They're going to change from Sundays to during the week. So the reasoning why I've been preparing you since week 1 with getting your discussion board post and being on point every single day on the platform is to prepare you for week 3. So understand that the turnover is tight. The turnover is tight for me as well, to get you feedback and to get you the grades and get you what you need to do. So please stay on point, stay on top of things, ask me questions, look at your emails, look at your announcements. I give you everything that you can possibly need to be successful in this presentation. So know that week 3 is a little bit intense. I will be giving James everything that you will need for the following week to prepare you, including the groups that you are going to be in for peer feedback. And I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to meet with the groups beforehand, before week 3 even opens, just to get yourselves familiar with who you're going to be working with. So all that will be provided for you on Friday. Okay, any questions, guys? Do you guys have any questions before we close the session? Tomas, there is no specific format for planning. The announcement that I'm going to send out as soon as this recording gets posted to my YouTube channel, I will be giving you some examples of different ways that you can execute this plan, just like I did in week 1. In week 1, I also gave a list of programs that you can use, and that's still true for the entire month. So my suggestion is that you use your strengths. Whatever you feel comfortable in and you know, that's the program that you should be using. at this point. Understand that lynda.com is available to you if you want to go ahead and learn a new program. That is all available to you. Brandon, it's going to be up to you on what program that you use. So if you are going to use Word or Pages, then that's going to be the file that you submit. Cool. Okay, I don't see any hands. Is any other questions? Okay, Matt, should each question in the instructions be answered in any sort of specific length? Matt, what are you referring to? Matt, there is no specific length, but I'm glad that you brought this up. Okay, I will put this out there for you, and it's going to be in the announcement that I sent, but I'll say it verbally right now. And I speak from experience. So, quick example. When we first started CRP, like I said in the beginning, we had 4 hours of lecture. So that gave us the opportunity to do more activities. The first week, we separated the class into groups, and each group had a topic that they had a plan for. And it could be something as simple as building a sandwich. Okay, so we asked all the groups to build a plan. Okay, so they build a plan, and we said, save it because we'll be referring back to this plan in week 3. In week 3, we split the class up into their groups again, and then we told them to exchange their plans with each other. They exchanged their plans with each other, and within 5 minutes, there was a long line to my desk with questions and frustration. And the questions were, well, should we be putting a video? Should I have images? I really don't know where to begin, Miss P. Can you tell me how I begin? And this was my answer. Refer to the plan. Refer to the plan. What does the plan say? Well, the frustration was there was no detail. There was absolutely no detail in any one of the I believe 12 groups. There was no detail. There was no direction. So someone else the other group that got their plan had no idea what to do or how to build a presentation because there was no detail. So that's what I want you to keep in mind. When you are creating a plan, keep myself or keep anyone else that you would have look at your plan in mind. Would they be able to build a presentation based on the information that you provided? Does that make sense? Okay. My feedback, as I mentioned in class and I mentioned here, is going to be based on that golden circle by Simon Sinek. I'm going to go in and evaluate everything that you have in there. The detail of my feedback is going to be based on the detail of your feedback. If you don't give me anything to comment on, it's going to be difficult for me to give you feedback on something that I can't pull from. So if my feedback comes back general, that means you haven't given me enough information. Make sure that any one of your ideas is developed and you're looking at how to build your story arc. And I suggest that you have several different ways. Have several different ways to build your presentation. So if you were thinking, I'm in between a join me and a hire me, plan for both. It gives me more information and gives me more opportunity to be able to guide you in a direction of your strengths. Cool? Awesome. Okay, my friends, it's around 11, it's approaching 11:30. So, if we don't have any more questions, I will close out for today, render this video and upload it. You can expect an announcement and an email from me sometime later this afternoon, depending on how long it takes to upload. So, going once, going twice. Do we have any questions before we wrap up for the afternoon? Awesome, Josh, solid. Louise, no worries. I'll stay after. Thank you guys so much for joining me this morning, and I will see you tomorrow in the afternoon.